Okay, okie dokie. Buenos dias. I'm still trying to get the hang of this StreamYards, but I think I've got it. Let me just double check here. Turn down my volume. Hopefully everybody can hear me now. The video looks good from what I see, but give me a second here, and let's wait a few seconds for some people to come in. Hopefully they will. Let's see here. Soy doggy, I sent you the look in your line account. I sent you the link, the invite link. So obviously the chat's working. Everything should be working, but I want to get to my my channel here on my phone so I can just double check. Scott Mallon fan club. Oh, I got a fan club. Wow. All right, let's try this again here. Okay, so it looks like everything is okay. It's working. But Soy Dog, you've got your invite link. What is 5x5 video and audio? I don't understand that. No idea what that means. Explain me on this wonderful Wednesday morning. I don't know how wonderful it is actually because I haven't gone out this morning yet, but it's 80 something degrees here. What is it? 81 degrees, high at 90, low of 77. Should be a sunny day. Hasn't been raining lately. Well, it's 82 now. So, looks good to me. 20% chance of rain, 76% humidity. Windy, 9 miles an hour north, 9 miles an hour, and feels like 90 degrees. The Thai baht is, or the U.S. dollar is, there you are. The U.S. dollar is a little bit weaker against the baht. The baht is 31.21 right now. I do see that we have our first guest. That would be Mr. Soy Dog Cowboy. So let me see if I can put him in here. Let me see how this works. Wow. Oh. Hey, we're big time.
This is a first. I feel honored.
Wow. We got 20 people watching. Let's get it up to 100 like the other day. Or
That'd
300 like 300 like in Hong Kong. That was good. That was actually, it was more than 300, but I'll take whatever I can get. 20 is okay for now, I guess. How you doing, Mr. Cowboy?
Doing well. Just sort of getting my watching the World Series here. As you can see.
Yeah, that's right. I've forgotten all about the World Series. Aside from the news headlines I see once in a while, like the other day, the guy won. You know, I forget what happened. Oh, he missed the ball or something like that. The guy threw it in. And,
it was amazing, actually. It was a crazy ending. Very similar to I'm a Met fan, so similar to Bill Buckner when the ball went through his legs. You know, it was just a whole craziness. I've never seen anything like that. So it's been a very good World Series, actually. And but it's interesting because the ratings have been terrible, and the ratings, interestingly enough, have been terrible for all sports. So the finals series for the NBA were down significantly. Baseball the same.
I think people are pissed off at sports players now. They're sick and tired of hearing of all the politics and the whining and flipping people off and all that kind of thing. You know, I think they're just sick of it.
There's possibility that's part of it, but they were showing there was a good article on it, and there's just a lot of choices right now as far as people are home and they're watching TV all day long with Netflix, etc. But I
Or they're
love it.
watching they're watching my live streams.
Exactly. Actually, YouTube is doing extraordinarily well right now.
Well, actually, yeah, I've noticed, and I think I told you yesterday, I've noticed there's been some large gains with my channel, and not necessarily with the subscribers, although they have been going up slowly but surely. But mainly with the ad revenue is getting better, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's always good.
If they start giving me better ad revenue, then I start being a little bit happier, But when they give you next to nothing, that's a bit frustrating, But anyway,
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
It's out of my hands, really. Aside from whatever I do on here and people liking it and following, and whether they're really interested in Thailand, which that's something that I've been really debating with myself is, just how important is this place really to many others who are thinking about living somewhere else, or who are sick of living in the United States, and they're trying to figure out, well, where can I go? What can I do? Whether it's a long vacation, 6 months here, 6 months there, or just completely moving here. And I don't know how important this place is, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some truth to that. I think people are, within the travel genre, are going to seek out videos from different countries. We were talking about Ecuador the other day. I was I listened to a morning sports show every morning here in New York with Boomer Esiason and Giannotti. And they were talking about, I can't wait when this thing's over. I'm going to the Maldives. So I think there's a lot of, I think people seek out these type of escapism, and they'll come across a stream like this.
Yeah, like Walter Mitty.
Yeah, I mean, almost. So
that's me. I'm Scott Walter Mitty Mallon.
Oh man, that was a great movie, actually. The original.
Yeah, the original. Anyway, one of the things that I've been thinking about, and I've been looking at a lot of different channels online myself, just because, I don't want to get too stagnant, and I feel stagnant sometimes, and I don't like that feeling. And whether it's, stagnant here at home, or going outside, or just not wanting to go out, and like I've said, one thing here is that, well, the public transportation here is very good in Bangkok. And really, it's pretty good throughout the country. You can always find somebody who's willing to get you somewhere if you're willing to part with a few bucks. However, when you live in my neighborhood, and when you live along Lat Phrao or Ramkhamhaeng or Sukhumvit or some of these main roads, it really is it's tiring to go out. And I can only imagine if I had to go to a job like my wife every single day. She goes to work almost every day. She's at home right now, but she's got to go out for a meeting later on. So she'll take the boat, or take the city link, and she's got to go here and got to go there. And I would not want to do that during rush hour. I don't care what the price. I don't care if it's free. It doesn't matter. You feel like you're one of the cows. You're one of the herd.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's what it is. That's why they call it the rat race. And
yeah, commuting sucks no matter where you are. I mean, New York, you got to get on the subways. They don't, they're packed. They don't run. When it's raining, it's a nightmare. It's awful. And now that people are sort of coming back to work, not a ton of them, but they are coming in. No one wants to take public transportation, so they're driving in. So that means there's more traffic in the cities and on the expressways. Ordinarily they'd be on the Long Island Railroad or on the subway or on, but they don't want to do that. They because of COVID, so they're driving, and that's creating.
Now, the one good thing here is that if you want to take public transportation, although it is a little bit more time consuming, and it can be, irritating. If you're sitting in the back of a taxi, that can be irritating for its own reasons. But if you got the guy and he's going in the right direction, and he's fine, he's not bothering you, he doesn't stink, he's not, doing whatever. and you're just sitting back in the back of your taxi. Basically, all you have to do is just chill. You can put some music on. You can do whatever you want. Watch a little movie or something. Read a book. But when you're on like a bus or on the subway or the SkyTrain, while the subway and SkyTrain and the bus especially are, and say the boat taxis, whether they're canal taxi or the Chao Phraya riverboat taxis.
Right.
If you're on those are very economical. However, the hassle that you endure, sometimes I just say, you know what, I'm taking a Grab, and I'm just going to jump on the Grab, and it's going to cost me 4 or 5 times more than it'll cost me. But maybe what it means is I just get a direct shot. It drops me. For instance, Chinatown. If I want to go to Chinatown, okay, from my house, now I can just take a Grab. If there's not that much traffic, it costs me 150 baht, maybe 200 baht. Okay. If I go and take, say, the bus down the street to the subway. Okay, the bus is probably 10 to 15 baht, depending on if you're in an air-conditioned bus or whatever. Let's just say 10 baht. You get into the subway. The subway's, say, 40 baht. You get to the train station. Then you either walk or take a motorcycle to Chinatown. Now, you can walk, but not everybody wants to walk. What if it's raining? Well, guess what? You're still going to have to take a taxi if it's raining. If it's a motorbike, if it's not raining and you want to take a motorbike, still, it's going to cost you, say, 40, 50 baht at least. So now you're, let's say, up to 100 baht. Now, you might have been able to get there for 150 baht, and guess what? You just sat in the back of your taxi, relaxing.
Yeah.
You don't have to, think about a thing,
I mean, that's something that you can do in Thailand. I mean, if you want to take a taxi in New York City, it's a fortune. I mean, it just is. I mean,
you have
just
that
getting
option.
into the cab. Yeah, just getting into the cab is $350.
But it does add up, let me tell you, because that's the reason why I take the boat. That's one reason why I take the boat, because first of all, the boat means that although you have to endure standing on the boat, and at times it's very packed. There's a lot of people. There's nothing you can do about it. You just get in there and you endure it. And if it's hot, you're sweaty. People are bumping into you. It's like you're getting back to the mall. You're at the last stop. You're standing right in front of the little stairs where you go up to exit, and you got people trying to get. Oh, excuse me. Where are you going? There's no way.
I know, but
no place for you to go. You got to endure.
Sometimes you're on the opposite, though. Sometimes you're in the back, and you got to get out, and it's like, damn it, I can't get out. Like it's I hate it.
So,
I mean,
this is the thing. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You want to spend the money? Okay. So, it comes down to money a lot of times. What I figured out here is Thailand comes down to money. That's why we're talking about this subject, which let me see if I can make this work right now. Let's see if it'll work here. Yeah, here we go. Wow. Look at that.
Oh, look at you. Look at you, fancy.
Getting professional here, huh?
I know. Look at that. An actual topic. Don't forget to check the chat, by the way, people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is the thing. We got like one person talking here, 2 people talking.
Mr. Mitch.
We got Mr. Mitch. He's the only person commenting. Mr. Mitch,
we haven't said much.
You're more than welcome to come on here if you'd like. And there was another guy, Steve, who wanted to come on here. And I don't know where Longhorns is. He's probably just who knows what he's doing. I got no clue. He's probably searching YouTube for something weird going on. I don't know. He's got too much time on his hands these days, it seems.
Well, it sounds like he's getting ready to also hit the road a little bit.
These guys, this guy here, Mr. Soy Dog Cowboy, and Mr. Longhorns, who we are talking about, they were both planning on coming to Thailand, spending a good 6 months here, hanging out, relaxing. And now they're unable to do that.
Yeah. And
because of the Chinese virus. Mabel,
China.
Mabel, what's going on with that Chinese virus? Why can't I go out and milk my cow, God damn it?
It's amazing too. I mean, I don't want to dwell on COVID, but it's wild what's going on, and every single damn country is going through another wave of this crap, which they predicted. But it is wild. Like I have a friend who lives in Norway, and they're instituting a whole nother set of rules starting Friday. And then obviously Spain and Niall, and who you've sat with in. They just went into another lockdown.
I heard that actually. My friend
in
Steve,
Ireland,
who is walking. Well, that was Scotland. I was thinking of. Sorry.
Scotland, same thing though. They're going the whole region. It's wild.
And I just don't know. When I hear the news in the United States, it makes me wonder, is it real or is it not? And I know some of it is definitely real, but when the percentages are so low and the Democrats are harping on, you're not doing enough, crush the virus. This Nancy Pelosi's driving me nuts with this crush the virus. She latches on to these catchphrases and refuse. It's like she's like an old lady asking you the same thing 10 times.
Well, I think what's the issue really isn't, I believe the virus. I mean, I know it's happening because I have friends who work in the emergency rooms. The real issue is that, and this is happening in some states now, is that the emergency rooms, the hospitals are getting overwhelmed. There's just not enough.
But how many are? What's the percentage of hospitals getting overwhelmed? Because it's in patches. It's not every for sure.
Exactly. But what's the issue really comes down to, states when they start to peak, if they peak too much too quickly, instead of, that's the whole idea of flattening the curve. It's like, listen, you may have 10,000 people. You may get.
I'd rather hear that one than I'd rather hear flatten the curve than hear.
They just don't want everybody getting sick at the same time. You can have the same amount of people. 2,000 people get sick over the course of 2 months versus.
Then maybe Nancy shouldn't go in and get her hair done without a mask on. Maybe Trump shouldn't be walking around sometimes without a mask on. Maybe some of these people need to figure it out. That what applies. Listen, I walk around here, and I'll be honest. I walk around when I'm alone. I have my mask down or it's off because I'm alone. There's nobody next to me. However, when I go into the grocery store, when I go into the mall, when I go into the 7-Eleven or something like that, I put my mask on. You know what? Not because I want to. It's because of respect for other human beings. The fact that I could possibly catch something from them or give something to them.
Listen, I don't know. Has there been an incident in Thailand where somebody has gone bonkers at the security guard for telling them to put on a mask to go into a mall?
I haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen that today. This is a crazy story.
Tell you?
We're very individualistic here in America, and so to us, it's about individuals. Today, this is a crazy story, Scott, which I just read. So when I forget which state it was in, but these two girls, one was 18, one's 21, was asked to put on a mask, and long story short, they stabbed the security guard 28 times. He lived.
Oh my God.
But you what is this mentality? And then you see this constantly, but then you look at the difference. Look where Thailand is, and even China now, and the Asian countries, which are used to wearing masks to begin with, but they're doing what they need to do. Now look, there's no guarantees even that Thailand and all these countries are going to stay. It's a virus.
People have been coming in and they've been testing positive. It's been a regular occurrence. There were 9 people the other day. This kind of thing happens. Now we're kind of veering away from the subject, but this coronavirus, this Chinese virus, as I like to call it, it came from China. China. It does have to do with the economics. And, I've been saying lately, and I know there are some other YouTubers and some other people going, oh, yeah, this place is still great. Listen, take what I say with a grain of salt because I've been here a long time. But what I will say is this. There are some fantastic reasons to be here. I don't have to worry about getting shot walking down the street. Okay, I've only seen guns here like twice, and I almost got shot. I was right there when it happened when they were shooting, but I was in the middle of it. But um, for the most part, you don't have issues. Now, if you have to learn about how to interact with people here because it is a little bit different than interacting back in the U.S. And what I find, or say Europe or whatever, what I find is there's a lot of people who come here and they expect the Thais to act as if they were in that person's country, not in Thailand.
Well, that's obviously insane. You know, and
hey,
that's what
this is not how we do it here. I want to be drunk. Fuck you. How come I can't do this? How come? And then the Thais are like, "What'd you say? Fuck you." Then the next thing you know, 10 guys jump on top of them and start beating the piss out of them.
Well, that's the thing, and like the discussions that I've had about Thailand with people is this: that even when my first time come to Thailand, which was a long time ago, now you got to be 25. Yeah, it was Thailand first time. Yeah, it was amazing, and it was 25, 26 years ago, before the internet. Really, there were bulletin boards. Like it was, it was there wasn't like robust internet. There was no Google.
Right.
But I still knew all the basic rules before I came. Yeah. So to me, anyone coming to Thailand, there's no excuse for them to not understand some of the basics. And this is the basics of traveling in general, of course, but it's just some basics about, what you can and can't do in any country that you would be visiting. And Thailand there's a ton of information out there. You see, that if, you don't get into arguments or fights with Thai, because you're going to wind up fighting 10 people. It's never going to be one.
You're very lucky. And I've had a few incidents when I first came here where I was very fortunate because it was either very late at night or I was just in an area where there weren't many people. And I got lucky. There weren't a lot of Thais around that jumped out and came after me. I got very lucky. But
really,
I know, it's happened a couple of times where I had little incidents, like one at night. I was with a girl and, the taxi driver was being an asshole and he got out and, we got into it. And then, there was nobody else around that like was ready to jump in it, because most of the time it takes a few moments, at least sometimes minutes, for somebody to really go, Hey, what's going on over there? What's happening? What's going on with that foreigner? It takes a few minutes, maybe 30 seconds, 60 seconds sometimes. So, those kind of things, they happen once in a while. But for the most part, if you just mind your own business, if you're some 65-year-old guy who's not a drunk, you're generally very decent to people. You don't have to kiss their asses, but you're generally very decent to them. 99% of the time, you're not going to have a problem. There's always assholes. But for the most part,
and they get in trouble. I mean, I've been coming. Right. I've never had an issue. And if we'll talk. I know with like the girls, if I've had an issue where this girl didn't do something or whatever it may be, it's like
you didn't perform up to your expectations.
Yeah, I pay her whatever I promised and on her way. And if that's the less, it's nothing is worth it. But that's the rule. See that people say, no, you shouldn't have to do that or pay. It's like,
or hey,
you shouldn't.
But I'm not going to do that. I'll beat the piss out of them, and you get like that. Okay, but you're not going to win. You will not win.
Won't. And I don't want to scene or whatever. It's like lesson learned and move on. And I think that's the only way to. So people don't want to do that, and they get into trouble. I just avoid issue. If I see something's bubbling up, I'm leaving. I'm out. Because I just don't want to be around it. I will lose most fights I'm in. To be honest, I'm not a big guy. I'm a terrible fighter. The last fight I was in like I think 4th grade, and I lost. So
unless you are practiced, most of the time, all things being equal, the guy who has practice and has skill will generally overtake the guy who has absolutely no skill. He's never been in a fight before. Strange things happen.
Also, but, I'm 5'8". I'm a little guy. I'm not. I'm not a strong guy.
You can't really think that way.
Yeah, well,
that's the first thing right there. You can't think I'm a little guy. I'm not a.
I know, but you're a boxer.
Guy. But
you know,
listen. It was more, that even that, listen. That's neither here nor there. Listen, we're getting away from the whole.
Yes. So the cost of living in Thailand versus other countries.
Now, what I wanted to say first, I'm sorry, but I have to do this before I go on. Please remember to, if you are new here, please remember to subscribe. I got to do all this YouTube stuff. Please remember to subscribe. Please click thumbs up, if you will. What else? Share, leave a comment, participate in the chat. You got 52 people right now, and we got like 3 or 4 people talking. And I know that while some people may just be lurkers and trolls, there's got to be some people out there that, they're just too lazy to get up and hit the
type a comment.
Start typing on their keyboard or whatever,
Well,
or
let's talk about.
Maybe they just don't have anything to say. I don't know. Who knows?
Let's get into the topic, and maybe that will.
Yeah, maybe that'll help everybody. Now, I'm sorry, but I got to say this as well. Don't forget, this stream, as all my streams and my my videos, are brought to you by my Patreon patrons, the members of YouTube, the members of my website, the people who contribute through Super Chat, the people who contribute through PayPal, through the Cash App, however they may do it, or even Bitcoin. The other day I got I think it was what do they call it? It's not it's Bitcoin Cash, I think is what it was, or Bitcoin Gold. They got so many of them now. That's why I generally don't get involved with it anymore. I had a fleeting interest in it at one point, but no longer. Anyway, so that takes care of that. And in the description, you should find everything, including T-shirts. I don't hate people. I just feel better when they're not around. I think it's a good idea to keep that in mind. Listen, I don't hate people.
Mine is defend Rockaway.
Oh yeah, I like that. So you are a gun proponent.
I am. I am with sensible.
Yes. Okay. Sensible is a good thing. All right. So now talking about this cost of living thing, there's a couple of reasons why we should talk about this, because back in the day, and I'm talking about when I first came here. I'm talking about 25, 26 years ago.
Yeah, we came the same time.
30 years ago. Things were a bit different, and I was talking about how I was going down. Let me see if it was the Map Ping. I got to remember this because let's see where this is. Map Ping. Yeah, Chiang Mai. Okay, I believe it was the Map Ping River. I took this tour. I went up, and the tour was, it was something like $150 for like 3 nights, and it, included an elephant trek and trekking through the Golden Triangle, and a trip on a little what do you call the little longtail boats, and it was great. And a hotel or whatever in Chiang Rai, something like that. It was a good deal. I thought it was a good deal. And then I'm sitting there, and I was talking to some people, and people are going, "Oh yeah, how much is your hotel room?" And I'm like, "Well, I got a nice room. It's like 500 baht, which at the time was about $16 or something like that. Because,
it was 25 baht to the dollar back then.
It used to be 25 for a long time. Yeah. So when I went there, I just remember riding down the river in this this longtail boat, and I'm looking around at these like little huts, and I thought to myself, man, 500 baht a day. I bet you I could get an apartment, and it would cost me 200. It would cost me half that, right? So that's about 200. I thought at the time. Now looking back, I thought, it's about $300 a month or something, just for like a place to live, and then you get some cheap food. Hey, I could easily live here for under $1,000 a month. I thought $700-800, I'm good, and I started thinking about that. And then I started thinking, wow, if I really got into a bind, I found out there were places they cost $125, $100 a month for a room. And I started thinking, wow, I can live here for really, really cheap. I thought, and I don't have anything over my head really. I just, sell a few things, have some money in the bank, and I'm good. And so, you know what? I don't know. Are these showing up? I guess they're showing up for other people, just not for everybody. The thing is, I'm not used to this doodad here yet with the messages. So forgive me for.
Well, I see the messages, and
now you do. You see them on YouTube, right?
Well, I'm not. I closed the YouTube, and I go into the comment section.
Yeah, you can see it in the comments. I'm just wondering if everybody watching can see it, or I need to put these up. For instance, like this, I just clicked to put that up. Hey, Dre, what's happening? Dre, hello. Here you go. You see that? So I don't have to put that up.
Yeah, I see it all. See, Dre, I see. I agree with that. Okay. Longhorns. I simply cannot afford to live here at a custom I'm used to for what I get in Thailand.
Custom I am used to for what I can in Thailand. Okay, so here's the thing. They're showing on the screen because I kept clicking on there, and I don't need to do that. So I'm going to stop doing that. However, let's get back to it because I get all, I lose my train of thought very easily. Like I said, when I came here, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. And, I started to do it. And I thought, wow, this is fantastic. What a place. If I was a single man now, could I live off of $700 or $800? Now, first of all, I've been here a long time, so I know a lot of little tricks. I could probably swing it, but I wouldn't be very happy.
Well, that's really the issue here is that, sure, you can find places to live cheaply in a lot of places, but, do you want to subsist on, rice and,
you want to eat street food, and you're going to eat inexpensive street food most of the time. You're not going to be going eating 150, 200 baht street food.
Yeah, you're going to be eating 60 cowman guy, and
I'll tell you what, to give you guys an example of something, I asked my kid. Now, obviously, Alex he's 19. And he remembers back to, he said, I remember getting fried rice for about 30 baht. He said, now it's like a lot of places, they're going to charge you 50 baht, 40, 50 baht. We're talking mainly in Bangkok. Now, prices are going to vary around the country, but in Bangkok, you're talking about 50 baht. Now, that might not sound like much, but sometimes you eat a meal and it's 50 baht, and you're like, that's not enough. Man, I'm still hungry. I want another one. So if you eat another one, it's 100 baht. It's double. It's $3.30. Now, even that's not really all that much.
Right. I mean, you're not going to get a meal.
You start adding it up on a daily basis. If you're spending $10 to $20 a day on food, okay, that's cheaper than some places.
Maybe. Right, but now look, you could cook. I mean, you can get a bag of rice and and make food. Now, I always found that as a single person that it's still cheaper to eat street food than it is to cook at home.
Yes.
So
I was talking about that the other day. When you make when you make some spaghetti, or you make some pad kapao or something like that, you still have to buy the meat. And listen, for us, like the other day I made spaghetti. The pack was probably 79 baht, which is $2.50 or so. You buy cheese, you buy anything Western. You buy pork, which obviously is not Western. But it works out to where you're paying $5-6 for a good plate of spaghetti with maybe some garlic bread or something like that. It adds up.
Right. And I go in Pattaya. There's all these places that sell it a plate of spaghetti bolognese. It's 130 baht. And I'll eat that. And if you go into the mall, it's less. Even you can go into like one of the food courts. You could find it for less. So I find it much cheaper to eat as a single guy.
That's the way to do it. Okay, but I can tell you that between my wife and I, we probably spend on groceries and dining out. And we don't dine out at great restaurants. I mean, we don't even go to like Fuji all that often. I mean, maybe once every 3 months, we'll go somewhere like out for pizza, or we go to Fuji or somewhere else, you know, or we get something at that, what's that chicken joint, that the new one that I forget what it is. It's you get the chicken, it's like a Hagari or something like that chicken. I can't remember what it is, but the name of the joint. But you know, if you're not buying Schmegdonald's, and even Schmegdonald's, I'll get to that in a little bit. But you know, we don't go out all that often for food, and when we do, we tend to get food from, like, you know, last night I gave my kid okay, here's an example. I gave my kid 200 baht. Right? He gave me back 35. Okay? Got 35 baht right here. This is what he gave me back last night. Okay? 165 baht. That's about a little over $5. For that, they got 2 meals for themselves, 1 and 1. Okay? Each of them got a meal. Okay? And we got a pack of water. Okay? 6 of these bottles right here. These are what are they? 1.5 liters. Okay. So 6 of those and some noodles. It's bami kiao. Okay. So they're basically, it's yellow noodles with like a little dim sum kind of thingy in it. And you know, that was $5-6. So if you figure that out, if you just spent that much, that's not even my wife, and that's not me eating. Okay, that's just with the water. So let's say it's $10 for us to eat, which is usually not. It's more about 7 or 8. Let's say it's $7 or $8 a meal. If we just go down the street and get some, you know, $2 a meal, that's say 60 baht, including a drink or something like that. You know, now you're talking, that's $8 every time you all go out and eat. Times 3, that's $24 a day. And that actually works out with the groceries and everything to about what we spend. We spend somewhere around $700 or $800 a month between my wife and I on groceries. And also, you know, we give my kids a little money when they go to school. I give them their school money every week. They get money for school to go and eat at school, and their school tends to be cheaper.
So you spend $800 a month on food?
About 7, anywhere from 600 to 800, depending on. You know, it's a lot. You know, I mean, it adds up. And then the thing is when you're eating at home, right? What happens is you go, yeah, I really need this for this, what I'm making right now. You're gonna make a curry chicken with potatoes, and you go, okay, I got coconut milk, I got chicken, I got some vegetables, but I don't have any potatoes, and I really need potatoes. All right, I got to go out. Now, when you go out, you don't think about it, but you go out, you're going to spend $1 to go out, $2 to go out, and to come home, right? Then you're going to go out and get the potatoes. Now, I got some potatoes, 3 potatoes yesterday, and they were about $1.30. So not
you didn't
much.
Was it 1 potato or 2 potato or 3 potato, 4?
Got 3 potatoes. Got 3 potatoes, actually. So let's say, you know, then you got to add that into the cost of your meal. So, you know, it adds up. This is the thing about Thailand is it nickels and dimes you.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, they're debating here in the chat about, you know, you can't live on $800, blah, blah, blah. Could you do it? Yes. Do you really want to? Hell no. And I can tell you that I lived at one point off of less than $1,000 a month. It was about $600 because I just was waiting for some money to come in, and I was scraping by for really for a couple of months. I did that.
It's interesting. I'm looking at what I spent on food. I track everything I spend to the penny. I mean, I've had a spreadsheet for years on it goes in. So I'm looking at what I spent for food and groceries over the course of like September, right? And it looks
Right.
like, let me see, let's say 290, let's raise a 345, 375, about $400 for me.
$400. One person.
One person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
so
if we spend 800 for 4.
Yeah. So, that's that's what I spent, and I'm curious if I did the same.
Could we spend less? Yes, we could. We could eat fried rice and kaijio every single day. If we really wanted. You're gonna eat kaijio. I mean, I got this stuff wired in my head about the food at least. Kaijio, basically is just an egg with either you put a little pork in it. Now you don't have to put that in. I
love kaijio.
If you want, you can just have the egg with some onion, and then you need a little bit of fish sauce and a little bit of like dark soy or oyster sauce or something. You just mix that in there. So let's not even talk about that, which is probably not very much. I mean, let's say 10 baht. But the egg itself, we get 10 eggs for 45 baht. 45 baht is about $1.50. Okay, so $1.50 for 10 eggs, right? 15 baht an egg. Now each omelet, really, if it's going to be for say me and my kids, I can tell you even 3 is not enough. 1 egg per person in the omelet, you figure it's not enough. You need like 5. If it's just me, a 2-egg omelet is fine. So for the kids, you're talking about 5 or 6 eggs, right? Let's say it's 90 baht just for the eggs with the rice, with everything else. Let's say it's 100. Okay.
All right.
That's 33 baht a pop for your meal. That's a little bit more than $1. Okay. For each meal. That's not very much, but guess what? That kaijio is like a side dish. That's not a real meal. So, you can do it first of all, if you're young, you're active, you're not the kind of guy who, hey, you want a decent meal when you sit down. There are people out there, they'll eat bananas all day. I mean, really. I mean, I had one guy write me a long time ago and he said, I don't know what the problem is. You don't even really need that much money for food in Thailand. All you have to do is go on the side of the road and take one of their oranges. You see an onion or something, you eat onions, you eat tomatoes, cucumbers, you just, okay, yeah, you want to do that? Go ahead, be my guest. Most people don't do that. We're talking about the norm, what is fairly normal, and I'm not talking about COVID type normal. I'm talking about just normal. People want to eat a halfway decent meal, not just, let me go into 7-Eleven, I'm going to have a candy bar. That's not a meal.
Right, I mean, obviously not. Look, if you really start talking about the cost differences to live in Thailand versus whatever country you are, the short story is you can live, I think, a better life for now in Thailand than you can where you are in America. You can. But yes. I read something once, and I loved the way this quote, which was that the challenge of being retired, let's say, and living in a developing country is that the country is developing. So that means that prices are going to continue to climb as it develops.
As one other guy said a little bit earlier here. He did say something to that effect.
So that's the hard part. To me, I live on I just checked my chart on what I spent in Thailand per month. For everything, rent, electricity, my phone, medication, because, it's funny, medication there is more expensive because my insurance here covers everything. Like I pay $4 for my medicine. There, I'm paying $30 because I don't have insurance for that. So, the same thing that I take here is $30 there that I get for $4 here. So all included, it looks like I'm spending about 50,000 baht a month.
Yeah, so that's about $1,500, $1,600 a month.
Right, including rent. Now, I could get that.
Okay.
Now, my rent was expensive. Absolutely. I was paying last year 25,000 baht a month for a place. It was a 1-bedroom right in the heart of Pattaya.
But it had a bedroom. It wasn't just a studio.
Oh yeah, I couldn't. The year before I was paying 15,000, and I was just, after a while I said, "Fuck this! I can't stand just being in a studio." And I said, I was sorry, part of my language there. And I'm going to.
You ruined
I
my
had
chat
to.
with your foul language. How could you
Damn
use
it!
that kind of language?
So I needed to be in a one bedroom, and I needed to be in a real one bedroom, meaning, there are some one bedrooms that are still 32 square meters. And I'm saying, nah, I need to have at least, 48
Yeah,
square
but
meters or
see,
something.
this is the other thing. If you're a young guy, okay, you're probably going to need less or need more than an older guy. An older guy may need more in one area, such as medication, insurance. They may pay more for insurance. They may care about their insurance. They may care about things like their visa and planning for it, their dental care, their eye care. They may be thinking about all these things, and they may require more that way. But overall, the youngster might need more money to keep them busy, to keep them enthralled
Yeah,
with the country, to going around the country. And hey, and then they've got some chick, and they think, a lot of guys, they come here and they start throwing out money to their girls, and hey baby, don't worry, I'll take care of your rent for how much is it? 14,000. Okay, no problem. Now they've got an extra bill. It's like having that credit card bill you don't want.
yeah. I mean, that's why I don't. I'm so cheap. I don't want even a girlfriend out there, because I know I'm gonna have to pay for her.
Well,
And that's just
pay
gonna
as you
happen.
go, baby.
I know. But look, I'm in a very, I shouldn't say I'm in an unusual situation, because I'm not, but I'm living a different life than you're living, meaning that I maintain a
Definitely.
residence here, and when I'm there, I have a residence there. And when I'm there, I still have to maintain my residence here. Like, it's
Right,
not like
right,
the expenses stop. Some do, food, etc. But I have to pay my quarterly taxes on my
right,
place
right,
that I'm living. I've got to keep the heat on so the pipes don't freeze. I've got to,
right.
now this year I'm actually, funny enough, I found someone to pay me rent in my place for 6 months while I'm away. So that's going to be
Uh-huh.
a little bonus for me. But for the most part, I also have to maintain health insurance here all the time. I have to have
You
it.
do?
And yeah, of course.
Oh, is that because of the Obamacare thing?
No, because if I have health insurance here, and give it up, like,
Oh,
and I go
yeah,
to
yeah.
Thailand, and then I go to Thailand,
Yeah,
like,
but can't you have one that covers both and the cost is
nah, they don't. It
negligible?
doesn't do that in America.
No, but
It's
you can
funny.
get one in Thailand that covers you in America.
It won't, though. That's the thing. It's like there's nothing good in Thailand that will cover me for major medical issues. So, if I get, God forbid, cancer or something big, I need the insurance. So I maintain insurance here, even when I'm there. And right now it's reasonable because I get a subsidy from the Affordable Care Act. That is going to be an issue for me moving forward if that thing is thrown out, because I don't know what's going to happen, and I got to figure that out. But the point is that I maintain a place here.
Right. Yeah, you've got
On the
two
other hand,
households to maintain at the same time.
right?
Oh, you
I
let
got
your
to pay.
place go in Thailand? You
Yeah,
let it
that's
go.
that. Yeah, I mean that. I rent in Thailand. I own. But there's a monthly cost for that. Obviously, 25,000 baht plus water
Which
and
is nothing to
electricity.
sneeze at.
No,
Yeah.
the electricity is nothing to sneeze at. That air conditioning adds up.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I also have another apartment here in New York, and I rent that out, and I make good money off of that. So my monthly nut is not that big when I take the profits I'm making from my real estate, and I subtract my expenses and all my
Right.
taxes and everything else like that. But it has changed in that it is getting more expensive in Thailand than it was when I first got there.
Definitely.
And if you really start to look at, we were talking about this yesterday, I guess, or the day before, if you want to live in Bangkok, in, Rama 4 or anywhere in Sukhumvit, off Sukhumvit, or Tanglor, it's expensive, more expensive.
Yeah.
If you want to
Yeah.
live in Annut, it's going to be less expensive. And that's probably where I would
Well,
live,
I'll
in that area.
I'll tell you a little secret. Okay. if you want to live inexpensively in Bangkok, follow the Thai neighborhoods and follow the working girls.
Yeah,
That's
of course
where they tend to go. Anud is one place. Down by Victory Monument is another place that they like. And you can go outwards towards Pink Lao or somewhere like that. Those places tend to be you get a little bit more for your money. But all in all, the bottom line is that it all adds up. And when you think, oh, I'm going to be able to, a lot of guys come over here and they go, oh, my budget is, and Jono was a perfect example of it. My budget is $2,000 a month. And guess what? The first couple of months, they spend like $2,200, $2,400 because they just haven't got it wired yet. They need to get it wired. They need to nail it down. And I can tell you that I've said this before, but between me and my wife, our budget's probably around $4,000 a month. And, 20% of that's food. And then we've got another, I don't know how much percent, how it breaks down percentage wise, but a large percentage of it is for our kids' education. Okay. And that's another thing to think about. If you're going to stay here and you're not a single guy and you come here and you hook up, oh, I want to have babies with this girl. I love her. She's so wonderful. And I see these guys coming over here and they're, in their 30s or 40s. And if you got a job, that's great. If you don't have a job and you're like, I'm going to make money online gambling, or whatever it might be, have the exit strategy. I mean, even I have an exit strategy and we do have one, but we sure in the hell hope we don't have to implement it. But,
but that's
a family of 4,000, that's, 120,000 plus. And their education, I would have if I could have afforded to put them in an international, one of the best international schools in Thailand, where, these guys that are CEOs of companies, their kids are going there. I would have loved to do it. One kid, it would have been the same price for one kid to go to that school than two kids to go to a bilingual school, which is what mine did. And,
when I was working, to me, if you're young, the best way to come to Thailand is with a job from an international company, because they're paying you in American, let's say American dollars, in American salary, and they're covering housing. And, my company, when they sent you overseas, man, that your salary stayed the same as what you were making in the States, and they paid for housing and a car, and it was, it's great.
Yeah.
So that's the way to go over there, if you could, to work. But now, I'm, retired.
Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, Longhorn's just saying you can find decent condos closer than Newt for under 20,000. Definitely. You can. Yes. In fact, I know of a place, I don't remember the name of the place or whatever, but it was somewhere in the Tonglor, Ekamai area, in between. And that place was about 15,000 a month. And what it was there was a kitchen, and then the kitchen had like a little bar that divided up the front room. And that front room, you could eat. It was like a fold-out bed that was a good fold-out bed, and you could have a really nice living room. And then when you wanted to sleep, you folded the thing out, or it swung down, or something like that. I forget. And it was really nice, but it was 15,000 at the time. I was like, it's not worth it. I got to get more for my money, And
listen, if you walk off of Sukhumvit and walk, 4, 5, or 6 blocks off of it, you'll find some deals.
Yeah.
Sure. If you're willing to walk 10 minutes versus 5 minutes, to the BTS,
or if you have your own transportation.
Yeah. Then you absolutely can find those deals.
You can't buy a little motorbike, get insurance for it, which, of course, all that drives up your overall nut.
Right. There's always, there's always deals to be had, no matter what, and no matter what area. If you're in Pattaya, I was paying 25,000. I knew a guy around the corner from me above one of the restaurants, and he was paying, I think it was, what was he paying him? I was paying 25. He was paying, I think, $5,000, 5,000 baht a month. For, a fairly big room, although it was, it was ugly and it was nothing.
It was a Thai style place.
Right.
Very
Thai style. I don't want to live like that.
I'll tell you what, there are some Thai girls that will say, "Oh, paying mak nah, 5,000 baht a month is expensive." For them, my wife used to tell me of her friends and how they used to they would rent like a place was 1,500. All it was a tiny little room with a bed, and it was a communal bath, that kind of thing. They will live that way. Now,
Scott, I went to a girl's place in Pattaya, and it was like I opened this door right off of Soy Buakaw, down this dirty hallway into this room. There was one room, and I'm like, all right, it's like, she wasn't paying much for it.
Listen, if you're a young guy and you just need a place to hang your hat and you're out all the time, hey, thanks a lot, Richard. You are the first super chat of the day. Much appreciated, and may you have good luck all day long and all night. For the next 24 hours, you are smitten with good luck. You're beholden with what's the word I'm looking for? You have good luck.
Wow. Not important. So listen, this guy on your chat, Jesus. So he paid $45K and he had 118 square meters. That is enormous. I don't know anybody who's lived in a place.
Actually, you know what? It's funny you're talking about that, because what I was mentioning, I walked by there a few times in streams, but I used to have this place. It was on the top floor. It wasn't, I couldn't go on the roof, but I had the top floor. Okay. It was a 2-bedroom, and they were full-on bedrooms. These were not, tiny little bedrooms, full-on bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Okay. There's a bathroom in my bedroom, and there's a bathroom out in the, the common area. And then there was a living room, a dining room, and a full-on kitchen. And the outdoor area, the terrace, was like 4 apartments wide. That's how big this place was. And it faced Bumrungrad Hospital. It faced the hospital. And so at night you would go out there, and there was chairs out there and everything like that. You could sit there and relax. And, I did all kinds of stuff. I had a heavy bag out there. I would put a little air mattress out there. Yeah, I'd put the air mattress out there, and, bring friends out there, and, it was out under the stars. And then the back end of it faced the SkyTrain, where the SkyTrain was going by. It's a little ways away, but you could see it from the SkyTrain and the freeway, just for a couple of seconds. But that place was like 35,000. It was 35,000, and something like 35,000. But with the utilities, and at the time, I had to have 2 phone lines, because one phone line was a regular phone and one phone was for the modem. I don't know why I did it that way at this time. I have no idea, but I know back then there wasn't any of this 4G, any of that stuff. And so that was extra. Plus I had maid service, which was very good. There was bonuses to that, but I had the maid service. I had that in electricity. It was about 45,000 a month, and it was a very big place, too big. And, once I got with my wife, she was like, "You need to get out of here, man. You got to get out of here." That's more like about $1,450 a month.
Well, let's talk about your place, because you have a great deal in a townhouse that's a pretty cool area.
It's a cool area. We're in a good location, and my wife has a knack for finding places like this. But this is an older place. Right now, I shudder to think about showing people it, because I dumped out this huge storage container, this big plastic storage container. It's got all my little knickknacks of gear and equipment and electronics and stuff for. So I dumped it all out on the floor. My wife's like, "Are you ever going to clean this up?" I'm like, "I'm going through it little by little." But all in all, it's it's a good value for 7,000 baht. It's a great value.
I mean, that's phenomenal. Forget a whole family.
There are some things, like sometimes the roof will leak, and we've got a bucket to where if the roof leaks, because if it rains really, really hard, and the lady doesn't want to go and spend a couple $1,000s to fix the roof. Now I told her, just find me somebody. I'll pay for them to go and, strap up some heavy plastic on top so that at least it'll be better for a while. We never seem to get that done. The bottom toilet, the plumbing is not so good, so you have to be careful right now. We just got some Drano type stuff to pour down into the drain to make sure that when we take a shower, that the drain, everything will go down it. And so that affects the toilet. And so, we have to keep an eye on that. There's little, it's like you got to shake the toilet handle to get it to stop. There's all kinds of little.
Well, let me ask you something. What in that area, in your area, this for your viewers, like what can you get? Like what are some of the
you can get a townhouse all day long here, anywhere from about 7 to 15,000 all day long. And you can get some nice places for about 10,000. There's places like right down the street from us, and I keep, every once in a while I'll tell my wife, maybe we should go over there. But we're in a position where we're trying to save money so that we can buy a place, or that if we decide to move, we have money to buy something and we can pay cash. We don't want to be in a position where we're beholden to a bank, anything like that. So, and, we can't touch that money, which makes it very easy, but, it might be a little while. So we don't really want to move unless we absolutely have to. As bad as this can be every once in a while, it can be irritating sometimes when you're like, son of a bitch, I forgot to, I have to turn the water on sometimes. We have upstairs, the pressure is not very good. So instead of having a shower, we have a tank, and you fill it up with water, and then you just pour the water, just like out in the village. You pour the water over your head. Okay, downstairs is a shower, but upstairs you use a tank and you pour the water over you and you wash yourself, right? Well, sometimes you go in there and you're like, shit, I gotta hurry, I gotta go, I gotta get out of it, and you're like, oh, son of a bitch, you have no water. And then you gotta turn the water on. And if the water isn't, like, if everybody in the village is using the water may not work. So you're like, shit, out of luck. You got to go downstairs. And I don't like using downstairs. Upstairs is like everybody knows this is my domain. I like that. I like having my own bathroom, pretty much. And, Alex uses it once in a while. And, I don't get mad if they use it, but I like it to be mine. I don't want to go downstairs and be using the communal area, because the kids, it's like,
So
they leave their underwear down there and stuff, that kind of thing.
So the bottom line here, Scott, is that there are deals to be had in any neighborhood that you want to live in, and it really is depending on what you want. So again, prices certainly have gone up. We've talked about in the past how expensive anything that is coming into Thailand is. Anything, all Western food, cars, electronics,
for sure,
you name it.
However, if you are renting, generally you're going to get much more for your money than you're going to get back in the West, whether it's in the United States, UK, Australia, wherever it might be.
For real estate, that's the thing. To me, the cheapest part of living in Thailand is, and I have a skewed vision. I'm from New York City. Our prices here are nuts. There are places, look, I bought a home a long time ago for like $450,000, sold it over $1 million. And I know somebody who lives in from where is it? Not Wisconsin. Kansas City. I think it's Kansas City. They bought a house for $100,000. And I'm like, so everything is skewed here for me, because of New York City pricing. So the point is that to me, the cheapest stuff in Thailand is definitely rent, housing. It's still cheap there. Hey, Richard. And also, believe it or not, internet is much cheaper in Thailand.
I have compared that to elsewhere, and like, for instance, like Ecuador. Ecuador is a little bit more expensive. United States is more expensive, and we spend it's 747 baht a month, and we get 100 Let me see what the plan is. I think it's 100 down and 30 up. Let me see. Or it's 100 and 100. Let me see if I can find it here. Because that, that was one of the things I was going to talk about is some of the expenses that we have here. Because, yeah, this is 747. Okay, it's not 100. 300 down, 300 up. Okay, 300 what is it? Megabytes down and 300 up. That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's quite high, and that's 747 baht per month. So that's $25. $25 a month, and you get that fast, and they don't throttle it. And they also, if you want to pay like an extra $3, you get roaming, which I never do because I get my phone. I get 4G on my phone, and I need a lot of 4G because of streaming and uploading. But like, I'll give you an example. There's in fact, I need to do this because later on today, I just go postpaid, so I don't have any bill, and I just make sure I always have time and money on here. But they have these specials, and like right now, AIS. Let me log in here. Oh, I'm already logged
AIS.
in.
When I was there, I got a deal that was insane. I actually
well, wait until you hear this one. Listen to this one. Okay, it's incredible. 15 gigabytes. Okay, 15 gigabytes for 105 baht.
That's great.
$3. Jesus. Now that's a special. Okay. Normally, well, that's for that's for 3 days. 150 for 7 days and 488 baht for 30 days. So for 488 baht, you get 15 gigabytes, which for me, I use about 22 gigabytes per month. Okay.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, I had an unlimited deal from AIS, and it was something I forgot what it was now. I remember, but it was so insane. I thought they were making a mistake, and I asked them, can I speak to the manager? Because is this going to change after the month? And they said, no, this is like, it was 200 baht a month or something for, unlimited data, no throttling. I'm like, why? Like I just was crazy. That was weird. I don't think I'd find that deal again. But look, the point is, I think, if we can get back to the costs.
These are all their internet costs. And people are coming up with their internet costs here. There's a lot of people with some great prices here. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. Okay, here's the deal. I've had money here and I've been dirt poor here in the very beginning. When
look, Dave's got the deal I had. He says, Dave C, I'm in Pattaya now. I paid 200 baht unlimited with AIS. That's what I was paying.
Is that insane? But what's the speed though?
Well, I mean, look, I'll
tell you something. That's very important.
It is, although I've never had an issue with it. Like when I was using it as a hotspot in Starbucks, because Starbucks sucks, never had an issue. Never.
Right.
With using it as a hotspot. So, there's just, internet's cheaper there. Overall, I think you're definitely cheaper if you can save money by being in Thailand if you gave up everything at home. If that's what your goal is. If you want to move to Thailand completely like you did and say, I'm cutting everything off, you absolutely could. I still save money by going there.
Yeah.
Because my apartment I rent out, I make money on. And this thing, my monthly nut on my bungalow that I'm in right now is so cheap because I own both outright. There's no mortgage. So the taxes out here are very low in Queens versus my place in Brooklyn. But eventually, I may do something. It depends. My sister plans. maybe moving to Florida. When my parents pass, they have a place there. She'll take over that place in Florida.
Mhm.
Then what I may do is buy a 1-bedroom apartment down in Florida. And then it's so easy to rent it out during the winters because snowbirders come down to Florida, and I'll go to
Right.
Thailand. So,
Right.
there's a lot of options.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at some things here right now because not everybody doesn't think about all these things, and I do. Okay, but because I've got a spreadsheet just like you. I've got a spreadsheet I keep track, and I know exactly where the money is going for the most part, almost to the bot. For instance, well, what's today? Today is the 28th. Okay, so today I have to pay my Spotify bill. Spotify here, 199 baht.
So 200 baht. So is that $7?
It's $6 and about almost $7. $6.70 or something.
Huh. It's interesting. Much
Okay,
cheaper.
so it's cheaper than it is in the United States, right? So that's one thing. All right, and let's see here. Now, for us, I also have I know next week my music lessons for Alex are due. That's $1,500 a month. So that's almost $50 a month. It's about $46 a month. Okay. Now, he's getting to the point where he's going to be able to pay it himself or at least cover half of it. That's part of our deal. It's like when he gets to that point and he's hustling, he's making money from, helping this kid with his phys ed and exercise and thing. And he's also teaching kids at this international school. And, they're young kids, but he makes money from that. And so I'm like, hey, you're getting to the point where you're going to have to pay for some of it. I want you to show, a little responsibility. You're going to have to start doing it. And so, that'll help. But for now, I'm paying it, and that's almost $50 a month. Then you got Netflix. Okay. Netflix is, it's cheaper than cable here because cable here is outrageous. And I don't think you get all that much for it. I'm not too happy. I wasn't ever too happy with True. And, it used to be UBC. Then it got bought out. And now it's, like True Vision or something. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't care about it. I got movies. Where's that drive that I have? What did I do with it? I had this big old drive. I don't know where it is. I can never find anything when it's over there by the bed. I got this big hard drive. I got, a stack of hard drives in there. I got movies on every one of them. I got movies on one drive alone, 4 gigabytes of movies and TV shows. Plus, I got Netflix. So I don't need cable, okay? I don't really, personally, do I care about Netflix? No. I'll give you guys a hint. You go to ok.ru/video. You can find almost any movie you want. What happened? Uh-oh. He got bumped off, it looks like. I don't know. Let's see here. What happened you? There's people that have these, the Android TV boxes. They got the iPhone. What do they call it? The Apple TV. What happened? Let's see. Let's see what happened to the soy dog. So listen, you don't need to pay it. And some places you get into the right condo, you get into the right apartment, maybe you get basic cable for free. You don't have to pay anything. Oh, God. Yeah, Longhorns, I'll tell him you said that as he sleeps right now. There we go. He's back. All right. What happened?
Yeah, sometimes that happens. You get bumped.
It's that cheap American internet.
God damn it.
Freaking Americans. They can't get their act together with the, I will say this. I heard the thing is a lot of people are far more in touch with this kind of stuff than I am, but I've been here, for such a long time now. I just don't care. This is where I live. I don't always compare. I don't care. You didn't pay his internet. You got disconnected because you didn't pay your internet.
Exactly. I didn't have enough bots.
Let's see. What was I saying?
You don't keep up with stuff in the America.
Yeah, I don't keep up because I've been here for such a long time that like comparing the price of things most of the time, I just don't do it anymore. I don't compare. After a while, you just go, Now,
well, that's the thing. We got to stop.
Different. If it's
when you start thinking, you start thinking in baht, like you stop the, you stop. What is it? The conversion. Yeah, I mean, and just this is what it costs in baht, and this is how much baht I have. Me, because I'm always converting over dollars to baht, I'm always going to convert. And I'm only there 6 months a year. And this year I'm not there at all, unfortunately.
Right,
so, it's a different mindset. And I think somebody in your chat mentioned this.
That's when you know that you've been here and you are a full-on expat.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
When you are coming here part-time, or when you're living here and you've lived here for, and I know Jono does it. And listen, he's only been here for a little more than a year. And so, he's starting to catch on. But like a lot of times I'll go, Jono, why are you worried about that? That's back there. It's not here. It doesn't matter here. Or if something costs what it costs here, cheese tends to be quite expensive. But if you look around, some of these places will have, like they have this 82 baht cheese. It's Edam cheese, or Edam.
Edam, yeah.
Edam. And you get 2 for 1, right? And it's like, I don't know how many grams or whatever. You get like a package. It's like 2 for 1. And it's 82 baht. And it's good. You know what I mean? And then I got, like the other day, I got mozzarella. It was like 82 baht for I don't know how many grams or whatever, but it was a little packet like this big, and it was full about this high, and it was packed full. So there are going to be foods that are going to be more expensive, of course, because they have to be imported. There are going to be things like electronics, like water picks and those kind of things that are bought and made outside of the country, or they're made in China, sent to the United States, and then they're sent back to Thailand. Those things are going to have import fees, and so you're going to have to pay money. Peanut butter, 179 baht.
Yeah, I mean, my friend brought 3 huge jars of peanut butter when he came to Thailand last time, because it was so expensive there. Look, I mean, there are things that are really, I mean, if you want a car, and people want cars, some people want, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
It is expensive to have a car. However, compare it to Singapore. Singapore is a completely different way of doing, dealing with that and having a car. Having an automobile is a pain in the ass there.
Right.
Because you only have so much room.
Well, by design. I mean, that's how they control it. Like Singapore is an amazing country. I mean, they find what the best systems are and they implement them.
Yeah. However, wait a second before you go on about Singapore, because I spent quite a bit of time there. For about a 1-year period, I spent probably half my time in Singapore, and some of it was in a very nice hotel, the Conrad Hotel. I mean, I had a great place. It was very, very nice. If I didn't have money, forget about it. I wouldn't be there. However, what Singaporeans can do, can improve upon, is they're always thinking about money and business. Always. Yeah. I mean, you go out and you're out. Hey, let's go. You're out to dinner. I'm not saying me, but I'm saying I've seen it. Guy goes out to dinner with this girl, and she's talking about, tell me, what's your business plan for and you just hear all these people talking about, Joey said that if you don't do this by tomorrow, we're going to lose the account. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. There's part of me that just wants to go, shut up. Get off it. Get hey, have some fun, man. Loosen up, lighten up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cultural thing. But the country
that said Singaporean women have the least amount of sex of any nationality in the world. And it's because they're concentrated on business all the time.
Well, that's what you pay for it. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying for people that, And listen, I got nothing against Singapore. It's a nice place. I like it, and the people generally are very nice. But
listen, if you have money,
I wouldn't want to live there. I
yeah,
wouldn't
if you
want to
have
live
money, it's a place. Everything's relative. So look, Thailand certainly, there's great values in Thailand. It's not what it used to be. You've seen the rankings change over the times on the costs that are there versus,
Yeah.
other countries. But, when it was cheaper, you didn't have the, when we first got there, when I first arrived, they were building the SkyTrain. Right? I
when
remember
I first
seeing
arrived,
it.
there was no SkyTrain. There was nothing
Right.
there.
Right. So, so as those things happen, the prices go up, and that's exactly what's happening. There's still, you want to go live in the village somewhere in Isan, you could live on nothing, if that's, if you can do that.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to do.
No, and I think that there are people out there who are quite happy. They live out there with their old lady. And listen, I understand it, because as long as my home is truly my castle, then I don't need everything on the outside. But what I do want is access to some of the things that I want. And what I mean by access, I mean within, say, 2 hours. I mean, like, once a week, you go to the grocery, you take your truck, whatever it might be, you go, you get your groceries, you come back. Or maybe before you go to the groceries, you go take in a movie, you go out to lunch with your family or something like that. You come back. But then during the week, you don't go anywhere. You hang out,
say, Scott,
I'll
tell you, I look at real estate. Now, I would never buy anything in Thailand for a lot of reasons. From construction quality to you can't own land to just owning is a headache sometimes. But
the overall mentality of the government towards foreign.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a whole nother topic on versus every other country. Every other country you go to, where you go to Mexico, you get a freaking 180-day visa with like that, no problem. That's it. The Dodgers have won the World Series.
They did? Oh, wow.
Yes, just now. See, there they are celebrating their World Series, and it's the first time.
Thank you very much, Patsy and Bob. Thank you.
And
thank you.
Son of a bitch.
Have a Starbucks and a Texas chicken on me. Man, I got to tell you, I'm a believer in Texas chicken, and I'll tell you why. First of all, because their chicken wraps are extremely good. Second of all, because, I forgot Gennaro is in L.A. Their chicken wraps are very good, but they have something that you would really like a lot. And I don't know if there's Texas chicken where you are or whatever, but they have these strawberry shortcake things. And I stay away from Texas chicken because I don't, right now, especially, I'm trying to stay away from, that fattening kind of food. I've been on and even Texas chicken, listen, it's, fried chicken, that kind of stuff. I've been staying away from all that. I've been, eating salad and.
I keep trying, and then I always fall back. And I had an egg and cheese on a roll that was so good this morning. No.
Listen, you know what I would really like, and I can get it here from Starbucks, but it'll just be a croissant. I'd really like a croissant and ham cheese that is like a regular croissant. When I went to France, I was in a movie a long time ago, and I went to France for the Cannes Film Festival, and that was in 2000. And I went there, and every morning I got up, I put on a pair of jeans or a pair of slacks, threw on a jacket, okay, walked down to the boardwalk there, and then I'd go down to a little cafe and have an espresso and a nice croissant with some ham and cheese, or just a plain croissant.
Yeah, I mean,
I got addicted to them. They were so good.
I know. Right. Listen, Scott, I mean, it is.
We don't want to start talking about food.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Every time I go in this, the diner, and this French toast is so good. And
by the way, I saw that in Pattaya, there is going to be this American-style diner, like a Route 66 or something like that, and it's all like red, white, and blue with the kind of old 50s style. And
well, they had one like that. They do have one like that in Soy Buakaw, and I think it's just closed. Not surprising, like everything. But listen, they opened up an IHOP in Bangkok. All right.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking love IHOP. Like, I don't know, their pancakes are so good. You should do a stream from there. Tell me if they're the same.
I was gonna do it with Longhorns, and we never did it.
Yeah, because I want to
remember IHOP now. I can't remember Denny's. I just have a vague recollection. This is a problem now.
Grand Slam, baby.
For a year, 5 years, 7, 10 years. I've been here for, this is, the 26th year. And I honestly have forgotten a lot of things. I vaguely, even now, the conch fritters, which I had a few years ago when I went back home to Florida with my family, conch fritters, I'm starting to like, key lime pie, all the jambalaya, all these things I'm like thinking about, and I'm like, yeah, I remember it, but I don't know. It's been a while. I need to refresh my taste buds,
Go to the IHOP and see. Oh,
that's a good idea. It is a good idea. Go to IHOP.
I fucking love it. So I was very excited.
I got to put that on my list, and then we can compare the prices.
It might have closed by now because of this freaking COVID thing, for all I know, But
well, I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know.
I kind of doubt it, but we'll see. Now, one thing, we were talking about Netflix. I don't know how much Netflix is in the United States.
I think it's $11.99 now a month.
What's $11.99?
Yeah.
And
so
how many
$12 a month
do you get to watch it on?
What's that? Oh, like 5 or 6, like a lot. It's like
here it's 350 baht, which is about $12. And it's 3 screens. That's it.
It's more here. Listen, I mean, if you really want to do things right, wink, is I've got a Fire Stick with Kodi on it, and things like that. Where I can watch the fights and watch anything.
I understand, but a lot of people they don't want to deal with that. And I know I've done these things before, and I don't even, most of the time I can watch stuff and I don't have to pay anyway. So
right.
I mean, I find ways around stuff, and sometimes I just go to a little bar or something with my buddies or whatever. That's another way. But yeah, I understand that. But anyway, so $12 for Netflix, and then like I'm looking at electric. For instance, how much is your electric bill at your bungalow there?
I could tell you exactly how much it was, depending on the month, obviously. Because during the summer when it's hot, I got the air conditioning on. Now during the summer, so let me go to 2019 because it's a full year here. Let's see here. Bungalow AC. Go to the AC section here, and that would be National Grid. Right. So yeah, electric, it varies. Like if I go through everything between the heat, PSE&G, is that PSE&G? Trying to think. National Grid. I always get confused with PS Electric and Gas and National Grid. I think National Grid is the is it. So yeah, it's expensive. Here January was 100. January was 196. These are dollars. But then let's see, March 173, 160 in April.
How much was it last month?
Well, I'll tell you, my last bill I could do this year. All right, 2020. All right, expenses 2020. Let's see here. Okay, so National Grid. Yeah, this is more like it. So my last bill that is in here was September. PSE&G was $141. It was $141.
Okay.
A month. Yeah.
You know how much mine was?
No.
150.
Yeah, because you have the AC on all day, in a
I don't have it
townhouse.
on all day.
You
I
got the
mean,
townhouse. You got multiple
we
rooms.
we got the townhouse and we have two ACs. We have one upstairs, one downstairs.
Yeah.
When I'm not
You
here,
have
the
to have
AC
them
is
on.
off. So anytime I go out, the AC is off. Sometimes when we come home, if we're cooking and the place is hot, we turn the AC on. If we're watching a movie or something and it's hot, but lately it has not been that hot. Now I have the AC on right now, just because this light makes the room very hot. But it's $150 a month, and I mean, I'll tell you what. There were a couple times when it was like 3,600, and I was like, "Woo!" I was clicking my heels. I was like, "I can't believe it." I saved, $30-40. And so the electric. Listen, you wanna turn the AC on and be comfortable, or you want to sleep. And it depends on where you are. Like my buddy has that apartment that I was talking about. It's just one big room separated and everything. And he just he's on the sixth floor or something. He opens the sliding glass door, puts the screen, closes the screen, and he gets, wind coming in. The guy has an electric bill of like $20 a month.
Oh,
So
yeah. I mean,
it really depends on
looks,
where you are and,
yeah. Some people can deal with the heat and with just a fan, but to me, I feel like,
yeah, we have fans. We have, the whole thing. I mean, and the kids have grown up in it and everything. So it's not like we can't handle it. I mean, even I can handle it. It's a matter of, do I really want to? Our
right.
water
Yeah,
bill.
that's nothing, right?
Anywhere from about $4.50 to about
Yeah.
$6.50.
Yeah, water is ridiculously cheap in Thailand. I've always found that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Then you got internet. I already talked about that. Cell phone. Okay. Here's the thing with the cell phone. For me, I got to give my kids some money for their cell phone, just so that if they have a problem, they can call. Now, a lot of times I just go, hey, here's a couple $100 for today to go and to come back and to get something to eat. But maybe you need to put like 50 baht on your phone or something, 100 baht on your phone, so that you have some, you have some money on your phone. You always have some money on it. And they generally just use Wi-Fi. They don't use some kind of a package with 4G, and because that's just more money. It's just one more thing. The garbage, I just paid the garbage a couple days ago. You have to garbage pickup. That's $5 a month or $50 a year, which I didn't feel like paying it at the time. I was like, I don't feel like I don't have $50 just sitting around. I don't feel like giving it to them. I don't feel like going to I just take the for 1 month. I'll give it to you next month or whatever. Okay. So you got that. What else we got here? Okay. I already talked about school, for the kids to go back and forth to school, plus their tuition, all that other stuff. Takes up a nice chunk. Transportation.
Yeah, so if you would, let me ask you something. Take out the education for a second. What would you say a month, like on average, is your nut without the education?
I'm going to have to write this down, figure it out here.
Because that to me is, I think to everybody would be interesting. Family of 4, forget the school, for now. You could maybe do one with school, one without. Because you're pretty frugal nonetheless, so.
Well, I don't piss money away on things that I don't really need. I always think, do I need it? And if I want it, how bad do I want it? And how useful is it?
Right. And I think your wife is the same way. So,
oh yeah.
So that's a good match,
let's see here.
By the way, how many people are watching this stream right now? I'm just
61.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The other day we had 100. And then another day we had like 98 or something. So, there more people are watching, which is good. Hopefully it's my pleasant nature, not necessarily. Oh, now 0 people are watching. It says 0. I don't know why it would say that. It just went from 61 to 0.
Wow. I must have said the word nut, according to Longhorns. Did I lose you, Scott?
All right, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Back, it's 60. They just renewed. It refreshed rather. Okay, so let me figure this out here. God, it's hard to figure out because there's a few little variables that you got to pay a little bit here, a little bit there. But let me give a quick quick
ballpark. It doesn't to be on the note on the money.
Here. Let me see here. It's
like I said, I was doing 56,000 for me alone.
40 plus 60, 100. So 100. It's about 10,000, 9,000 plus another. What is it to go and come back? What did I say? 1,250 a week, 5,000, 14,000. It's about 14,000 baht. It's about $500, somewhere around $450 to $500 a month for their education.
All right, so take that out for a second, but we'll put that in later. So without it, what's your monthly? You can say it in baht if you want.
I'm going to say somewhere around 100,000.
100,000 baht. All right, for me alone was 56,000. Right, that's what I was paying for everything.
Yeah, but that includes some of your entertainment, which I don't generally. I don't partake in that anymore.
Well, I honestly, I'm not like maybe twice a month. I know guys that every day. It's insane. If I wanted to do that, I couldn't do that. Those days are beyond me. As much as I wish they were still around. I know, but these guys that say they do that are older than me. I'm like, how? I don't care how much Comagra you suck down. I don't even have the energy.
I'm not even thinking about that. But I mean, like if you figure out, oh God, I mean, and I'm sure, I'm not even thinking about like, the kids got braces. I'm not even thinking about that. That's God, that was 120, and that was another 150 a month, so 5,000 a month. Yeah, so I mean, 125 minus about 15, so about 110,000.
All right, I mean, and then you add on the education a little bit more,
That's about 15K.
Right. So 100,000 is just like what's that? 3,000.
Say 110.
All right. So what's about 3,500 bucks?
3,400. Yeah.
Yeah.
3,500.
That's pretty good. So 35,000. About 30.
Well, it's almost 40,000 a year. States.
Yeah, it's $40,000 a year basically, and that's kind of what I spend for everything. Like after I take my profits from my real estate, what I'm making from that, and subtract it from what I'm spending, I tend to spend about 60,000 a year in American dollars, but then I get 35 back from my investment. So, I live, that's kind of what it is. But Thailand definitely helps, in a lot of ways. It would be cheap. It's weird for me again because I still maintain my place here in the States, so I'm getting extra housing instead of saving on housing. It's like I have to get, no matter how much I spend in Thailand, how cheap I get it, it's still on top of my housing year round in the States. But again, one of them, I make a profit on, and the other one, like this year, because I'm renting it out, it covers my nut for the for that as well.
Now, so that includes also like miscellaneous. Like I figure about $100 a month for miscellaneous for me. My wife and I have a joint deal where we have to pay for things together, and where I pay certain things, she pays certain things, and she keeps her money and I keep my money. And that's pretty much how it works, and that's fine. It works good. But I try to stay away from, I try not to go to like Starbucks every single day, because if I go there every day, then it drives my nut up. And then I have less, I'll notice, oh gosh, I don't have enough, I want to go and buy a pair of shoes. Well, I don't have the money because I've been pissing away money at Starbucks. You can easily piss away $10 a day in Starbucks here. $7 to $10 a day, easy.
Yeah. Well, Patty Bob, it's interesting. So Patty Bob is saying here, I would be happy only spending $100K a month. I spend $150, and it's because he eats a lot of Western food.
Well,
but he owns his place. But there's there's costs that come with ownership.
Here's another thing too, though. He eats at the Hungry Hippo. That place is dirt cheap. It's a couple of bucks. Dirt cheap. $3 or something for a nice big breakfast. So I don't know how you're spending all that money on food, but I know that there are some places you go out and listen, it's going to cost you $20 or $30 to get a meal. And if you're taking your girl out or something, well, it might cost you $40 or $50. This is one thing that when the kids go out, like for breakfast, Alex, every single day, we have 4 packages of oatmeal right now in the cupboard. And we have another can of oatmeal from another package that had been opened. And then we have like frozen strawberries, frozen blueberries, which we put in the oatmeal. We have frozen bananas. We have star fruit. We have kiwi. All that stuff. All that stuff costs money. He has that for breakfast every day. He puts something in.
What's interesting? Thai breakfast. The one thing that they don't do well in Thailand is the frickin' breakfast. Now,
for the most part,
it's not the same. Like
I like the joke with the crispy little things. The joke.
So they have the joke, and they also have those eggs I see on the street, which are kind of weird. And I love eggs, but it's a weird dish.
They got kaijio,
Yeah, the kaijio, but which I love.
Great. Yeah, you can listen for breakfast. You can have kaijio. You have some mu ping, or some gayang or something like that. Sticky rice. Yeah. It's okay. It's not a fantastic. It's not like a Hungry Hippo type breakfast, an American breakfast where you got great bacon and pancakes and Once in a while, my wife will make some pancakes, and they're all right. They're pretty good. I had to go out and buy syrup, by the way. I just said how I was spending it, Gabe. Here we go. We got a guy here talking about how I don't know how you're spending $3,500 there. I got a family, and their education is quite a bit of money. Not only that, they need clothes. And then, between the education and the food, it adds up. That's how it works.
Well, where are you, Gabe? Are you in, you said you have a 4,700 houseboat car. So you're not in Thailand. You're saying you spend $3,500 in the U.S. With a 4,600 square foot house.
He's in the U.S. or not. Never heard of the guy. He's never commented. Never commented in the stream before. I don't know who he is or where he is. I'd like to know though.
You're getting new visitors here, Indiana, which is very cheap.
Okay, Indiana. Yeah. Well, listen. This is what we're saying though. You make a perfect case for what we're saying. Oh yeah, that's another thing. We also have health insurance, and we have dental care for my kids, which they have braces. That's quite a bit of money.
Is it? That's funny.
Oh, my dental care. Listen, we use the one there on Rachida. What's the name of that? Bangkok International Dental Clinic.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best dental clinics in all of Bangkok. So
it is.
They are very good. And in fact, Longhorns has been there. I've been there a couple times. I just went there a couple months ago. And it adds up. Especially if you're getting braces and your kids, and my kids are going this weekend. My wife said it's going to be $7,000. Okay,
let me say it. Look, in states. Listen, I'm halfway through an implant. I was supposed to finish this damn implant this year, and I can't get back to finish it. But the whole thing was like, I think everything was like $900, which is very cheap. It's thousands here in the States.
Yeah.
But I'll hopefully when I get back next year,
they got their braces, and now they're going in, I guess, to have them tightened up or refitted or whatever they do. I don't know.
Right.
Listen, at this point I haven't really been doing more than just following to make sure that things are okay with them. But they got to go this weekend. My wife said, "Hey, it's going to be 7,000 baht. We got to make sure we got the money." Okay, no problem. This is the kind of thing. These kind of things add up. It's not just a matter of I want to eat, I want to go out once in a while, and I want to have electricity, and I want to have a roof over my head. It's not quite that simple when you have, and obviously it's different when you're single and you have a family of 4. It's much different.
Yeah.
Your priorities are pretty much
not important. Are you? If you're in Pattaya, I think he's in Pattaya. Go to Dr. Warren. I'll send you on Pattaya Klang. He's, if you Google best dentist in Pattaya, he's going to come up in like the top 3, and he's very reasonable and very good. And he's on Pattaya Klang. Doctor, I think it's Warren. It's like, and he speaks perfect English. Yes,
that's always a bonus.
Yeah. Anyway,
I said pull the left one, not the right one. Don't you speak English?
I got see, that's
sorry.
It's halfway done. He's got the thing. I got to get the tooth in there now. It's like, come on, I can't get back.
We buy, I don't know which one we buy, but it's 99. The oatmeal is 99 baht, and then yesterday it was on special. It was 75 baht for, I think it's a kilogram, or maybe it's 800 grams. But we got 2 for 1, so 150 baht, $5 for like 2 kilos of oats, and that lasts for a week or a week and a half, something like that.
Yeah. And then his medical expenses. That's interesting since we hit that subject. So medical expenses are interesting. If you've got, like someone here is saying they've got Bupa, which is now a new company. Bupa is not even around anymore, but
it's not in Thailand. It's Aetna.
Yeah, it was Bupa, but they said, but it's still Bupa for those who have been grandfathered in. But it's
well, not here. It's not. Because we had Bupa from the very beginning, and they call it Aetna now.
All right, so I'm only there 6 months, so I pay either cash for any type of procedure that I have there, or I have travel insurance when I go. So if something happens, like I had an atrial fibrillation incident when I was there, I have this like electrical thing in my heart, my travel insurance covered it all. But what's interesting, the price, like I was in the hospital for it was a combination of the flu, like pneumonia. I wound up getting.
Before, yeah.
And it was the atrial fibrillation. I was there for 3 days at least, maybe 4, and the whole thing cost me 110,000 baht. So that's expensive, but my travel insurance covered it all, which was amazing. So I had to pay that, I used World Nomads, and so I paid for it in advance, and then I submit the paperwork, and then they send me the money, which they did. So it was very good. But if I would have lived there full time, you got to get health insurance. You should get it,
Yeah. And
but some people do self-insure. Some people with the money,
of course,
they just say, I'm just going to pay cash, and depending on your financial situation, you could afford to do it. Particularly if you don't want to go to I can never pronounce that frickin' hospital. Bumrungrad or Pattaya Bangkok Hospital is expensive in Pattaya. If you go, you don't have to go to the government hospitals, but there's a good hospital in Sriracha that a lot of people go to, and the prices are much better. Now, as you know, the government has decided that it's okay to charge Farang higher prices officially.
This is the thing. Now, see, these kind of things get under my skin, and they, the prices going up and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I understand there's going to be inflation. Now, I did look up the inflation in Thailand. Okay, and basically it was like 0.71% in 2019, and in 2018 it was 1.016%. 2017, 0.67%, and then down to 0.19% in 2016. Okay, it dropped in 2020 to minus 1.06%. However, at this point, it's back up to 0.56%. So inflation is actually pretty low in Thailand, but it's the price. Listen, here's what I always say. When you have something that costs 30 baht and you raise the price to 40, okay, you're raising it over 30%. That's a hell of an increase. If you said a car was $10,000 and now it's $13,000, people would go, what the hell? It used to be 10,000 baht, $10,000. Now it's 13,000. What's going on here? This guy, Gabe, says, moral of the story, if you're thinking of moving to Asia, have a lot more money than you think you will need, which is always, listen, more money is always better. I will say that. When I was making good money, working in boxing I was amazed that, listen, people want to be your friend when you are willing to shell out the money. They're willing, and, there's always the thing about, listen, Thai smile because they're genuinely smiling. I will say that. They also smile because they know if they smile, it's you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
Yes.
They're not stupid. They've been doing this for a long time. They've got it wired.
It's something weird, Scott, I was just thinking about this. We know that officially the hospitals can charge more for the Westerner than they do the Thai, right? But if you have insurance, the way insurance works in the States is they've negotiated prices for all different procedures with those hospitals. So this is how much we reimburse you for, open heart surgery or whatever it is. So if the insurance company is like, to the hospital is like, yeah, no, this procedure, whether it's a Thai person or
they don't ever have that problem.
Yeah, it's like
they never have that problem because they will overcharge you. And I remember that once I had some accident. I don't even remember what it was at the time now, but I thought to myself, shit, I'm going to have to, fork over a couple $100 for this, or, $100 or whatever it costs. And I was like irritated that I was going to have to pay for it, And then they say, "Oh no, the insurance covers it. It's an an emergency or whatever, emergency outpatient treatment. You don't have to pay for it. The insurance company will pay." I was like, "Oh, great!" And so then they go, "Sir, that'll be 75 baht." And I go, "What?" They go, "Yeah, it was 5,075 baht. Your insurance covers 5,000 baht." So the bill just happened to be 75 baht more than what, almost like, okay, well, we got to make it look legit.
Right. Okay. So that's an interesting thing. So for the insurance, basically, they're paying whatever doesn't matter what the hospital charges. They're paying, your limit is 100,000, and whatever the bill is, you'll pay anything over that. So it sucks that they're doing, they're charging you more because your insurance doesn't go as far. So that blows.
Yeah. Well, and listen, hang on a second here. Let me see this. I got to get back to my where I could see this. What was it that the guy said that I wanted to say? Just moral of the story, blah blah blah. Hospital quality, good frugal. Thais also smile if they don't understand you. Listen, Thais smile for about 100 different reasons. They smile because they know you're coming with money. They smile because they don't know what to do. They smile because they tripped and made an ass out of themselves. They smile because they're nervous. They smile because they're happy. They smile because, they're horny, and they think, their ATMs come walking, up to them. There's a number of reasons, but anyway, that's really neither here nor there. But when they have insurance, they automatically charge you the highest. For Pattaya, if you go on a weekend, they have a surcharge. Actually, in the United States, they have a surcharge as well. If you go to the emergency room after hours, they charge you more money. At least where I used to go, they did. Yeah, you see, go to an emergency room here on the weekend and see what the surcharge is. That's Longhorns. Lovely picture there, Longhorns. Let me get to the other things here. We got to stick to this because we got to wrap it up pretty quick here. Like I said, I do have miscellaneous built in that, the miscellaneous is usually the first to go if I don't have any money. But I figure about $100 a month just for me. And that's for, one of the kids saying, listen, I need to go get a haircut for school or something like that. Oh, really? Shit, I forgot about that. Here you go. Here's a little money. I've got to go get this thing for my project that I might not know about. Here you go.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm going along somewhere and, it used to be that when the kids were in the car, if one of them threw up and we couldn't get their head out the window fast enough, that you'd have to pay the driver extra 500 or 1,000 baht so that he could clean up the taxi. So there'd be little things like that. So you always want to have like 1,000 baht in your wallet stuck somewhere just in case, for whatever the reason is. And so I always try to have a little bit extra, for things like that. And, there are times when sometimes I'm, sitting here and I go, I'm not going anywhere. And then all of a sudden I just go, you know what I really feel like? I really feel like manato. I really feel like some sushi. Oh, I feel like a curry chicken. Oh, I think I'm going to go to this place or that place. I just go, hey, I'm going to go there. Well, that's all factored in, and if you don't, if you're just trying to go, I'm going to spend 100 baht a day. Well, there is no wiggle room. You have none. The other thing is like I have iCloud. That's only a couple of bucks. Right?
Yeah.
One more little thing, $3 a month. That's 36 bucks a year. Okay?
Right. Listen, I mean, I think that it's important that you have to set a budget for yourself, wherever you are, whether it's in the States or in Thailand or, wherever you are. This is my budget for the freaking month. Tell that to Thai
girls in the bar, though. I mean, come on.
Well, that's why, look, I don't drink.
Money doesn't go on trees? What do you mean?
Right. Well, those days, again, most everyone in this chat is pretty seasoned. And they know the deal, but the marks that come in, and suddenly they wind up in a freaking gold shop, buying necklaces for these girls,
listen, that's why I got tired of the whole chowderhead thing, because as you grow up, you learn, hey, anybody can just throw away your money. It's easy to piss it away. But guess what? Then there's going to come a time when you might need a little bit, whatever it is. And if you don't have at least some of it, you're screwed. You are true and really screwed.
But I love the chowder. Let me tell you two things, and I'll say this to your audience. I love the chowderhead stuff. I think they're hysterical. So you may be tired of it. It's your channel, but I'm telling you, they're hysterical.
Well, I don't even know if I could do it anymore. I haven't got any letters from people that I thought were. I have some. I don't know if it's on here. I haven't had anything really from anybody in such a long time that I don't know if I could even do it. I had something. Oh, is this it right here?
Pattaya Bob, yes, you need to use your VPN to send a sticker or a chat.
That's ridiculous. True. Well, I don't know. It's the whole Thailand thing with their way of debit cards and payments and online services and all that kind of stuff. Listen, I got to tell you, I absolutely hate Shopee. And I hate Lazada. I don't like either one of them.
Yeah.
And it's because I just don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe using them. I'd rather use Amazon any day, and I'd rather pay a little bit more. I
know. Well, I will say, listen, I want to plug something for you, Scott, which is for those who have not purchased Scott's books, particularly the first one, hysterical. It's a great book about living in Thailand, and this guy did the craziest shit. It's a great.
Those
stuff.
are only a few of them, and that's the thing is I try thinking of everything and bringing together some of the stories that I've got from before, and I try writing it, and then I start on some other tangent, and
it's on
there's
Kindle,
a lot more to come.
Right?
It's on Kindle. There's an audio book of that one. There's not an audio book of the second one because it's basically letters from people. And I just copied the letters and then I put my thoughts in there because, I mean, like some guys would go, she works in a massage parlor and she's a lovely girl. And I don't know. I thought she was special and something was right. So I married her. But at the marriage, she disrespected my mother and she was asking for money. She got drunk and started acting like there was a pole on the table. And I'm like, well, what the fuck did you expect? You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous, So
that first book, I'm telling you guys, it's cheap. I didn't know it was an audio. That would be
it's in audio. It's in audio.
That would be fun.
I actually did the audio, which was a huge pain in the ass. But I got it done. I had to do. This is several years ago. I had this microphone. It was a decent microphone. And I had to get what I did was late at night when everybody was asleep and there was no sound outside, I put a blanket over my head and around me, cranked up the air, told my old lady, cover up with the blankets because I'm going to be recording tonight, and had a microphone and then had the book and read the book in under this blanket. So that there was no sound. And then I had this guy go through and take out any ticks and any pops and stuff like that and set it all up for Amazon. It cost me, it was cheap. It cost me like $40 or something for him to do that. He was very good. That's how I got it done. But I thought I have to do it for that book. And even now I go back, I mean, not toot my own horn, but I go back to that book sometime. In fact, I just have it right here. Because
what's the name of it again, Scott?
They call
me Farang.
They call me Farang. Short stories by an American in Bangkok. And I got to be honest. Sometimes I read it and I just start laughing. And that's when I read something over and over and over again and I laugh, or I hear something over and over again, or see something multiple times and I laugh. Then I figure it's funny. If I just go, or I get tired of it, then I'm like, it's not that much. It's not all that funny. And so I am putting together slowly but surely another one. And I think it's going to be called They Still Call Me Farang.
Perfect.
But I have another one that I'm writing too. And that one's about the cocaine business when I was a kid and what happened to me. And,
Yeah. So anyway, I recommend the Call Me Farang. It's a very good book.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Funny.
Gennaro, let's hear some of it, author. I'm going to give you one quick paragraph and that's it. And I like this because how my mind works. And I think I've read this one before, but where's my glasses? Because if I'm going to read a little bit, I got to be able to see it. No, it's not. That's not the one. The Kanchanaburi. The kid ordering coffee was speaking loudly, waving his arms up and down as he attempted to make his point to the girl standing beside him. For a moment, I thought of shutting him up with a hard smack to the back of the head, but the prospect of sitting in jail dissuaded me from doing so. He and his fat, zit-faced girlfriend were disturbing everyone in the coffee shop. This is the old Starbucks, by the way. Enthralled in some silly conversation about who had cuter photos in their cell phones. Maybe they are deaf, I thought, as I turned to throw the pair my dirtiest look. No effect. They kept blabbing away loudly. Then I took a step in their direction and said, "Shut the fuck up already." They weren't fazed. They didn't hear me, lost in conversation, completely oblivious to anyone outside of their bubble. They continued screaming at one another. "I like the one where I'm standing with Piggy," said the girl. Piggy. What the fuck? That was the name of the girl, Piggy. Piggy, like Piggy, like, she's a pig. said, trying to make a cute face. I am so lovely. Yes, you are lovely, but my photo with Nong Jiep's cat is so much better. That photo should be in a magazine. No way. That cat is ugly. How can you say such a thing? He's so ugly, he's lovely, said the kid. More lovely than you. Are you calling me ugly? She said. The girl stood, legs spread, shoulder width, rolls of flesh spilling out of her jeans. The pants looked painted on, so tight I was amazed she could fit her massive frame inside of them. Giving her a hard kick to the twat crossed my mind, but her thighs touched all the way from her snatch to her knees, and my foot would never have fit. She had no gap and probably spent a fortune on baby powder to keep her legs from chafing. Maybe a piece of chocolate cake would shut her up.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many good stories.
That's how my mind works. That is
exactly
how my mind works. I may not speak.
Is the shitting story in there? The shitting one when you cross the border?
Yes,
is that in that book?
It wasn't across the border. It was at Kanchanaburi at the very same place. I got to put this. It's called the Smiley Frog now. It used to be the Jolly Frog, and that one's in here too. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, this book is ridiculous. It's so good. It's insane. So
yeah, I don't want to read the shitting one because
don't read anything.
You'll never think the same about me. But it's happened a couple times since then where I came really close to having the same thing happen to me. The older you get, and like Jono says, never trust a fart.
It's happened to everybody, Scott. You're not unique in that, So
well, it's good to know, but
yeah,
we've all been there. I don't want to be wearing Pampers anytime soon.
Yes, let's not do that. Yeah. Anyway, listen. This was fun.
It was fun. Somebody else should come on at some point. It would be nice. Anybody who really wants to. Just send me a message, leave a comment.
There's a way to put the link right into the YouTube feed. That's how.
But do I want well, I guess I could just deny people that just happen.
Exactly. They go into the green room. You go into the green room and you got to make sure there's some trolls out there. So you got to tell them to hey, do me a favor, hold up 4 fingers, and if they do that, then it's not like a video that's going to lead into some porn, which some people do.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Yeah. So want to?
I'll talk to you about that later. I was trying to talk to Johnny yesterday, and he called. I called him, and then he missed my call, and he called me back, and I missed his, and then
next thing I know,
Johnny's Siam. No, Johnny's Siam. I haven't talked to Johnny. Something that's happened. Is he still doing YouTube videos and stuff? I don't even know.
He is not as frequent.
I really don't watch the YouTube stuff very much. I mean, it's just I have my own life, and it's that's all I'll say.
All good, Scott. It's all good.
It's all good. Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you very much. We're gonna say goodbye to Mr. Cowboy, and then I'll say my goodbyes. But thank you very much for joining me. All right, so he's out of here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Hopefully this thing will become something good here, this StreamYard. I can figure everything out. I seem to have it down pretty much. Well, some people don't want to show their face. Now, you can just have the audio, I believe, on the screen. You can use some kind of, a little thumbnail or whatever. I think you can do that too. So, it's pretty good, and the quality was quite good, I think. I do need to get another headphone. I couldn't find my headphones. I'm borrowing my wife's headphones right now, and I need to get with the program and get a little more professional, but all in good time. Like I said, hopefully the ad revenue will continue to increase as it has been for a while now. And yeah, it'll be justifiable to go out and spend a couple $100 on a good microphone and setup and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, thank you very much. If you have not subscribed already, please do so. Please leave a thumbs up. That would be nice also. I wanted to see something here. Oh, by the way, I personally have some good news, and that is that In addition to the gallery in Newport Beach, where my photos are being exhibited right now, sometime in the near future, there is a Laguna art gallery that will be showing them as well. They've already committed to it and said, they're interested and they want the stuff to be in their gallery. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Now, I don't know what that means financially. Could be interesting, but anyway, 26 people give you thumbs down. Well, you know what? I've stopped worrying about that. I've stopped worrying about the haters. There's always going to be haters. Who does he think he is? Why is he in Thailand and I'm not? Who the hell does he think? He thinks he's so much better than everybody. Yeah, right. Okay. Whatever. It's all. Listen, they can. And what's so funny is some of them will drop off. They're either bots or somebody with the same account or something like that. So it doesn't matter. You listen. I used to get all bent out of shape and want to do something to the people and I'm gonna find you and track you down. But what does that do? It doesn't do anything. Doesn't matter. Listen, at the end of the day, all that matters. There's a couple things that matter. And there are very few things that do matter. One, were you entertained and did you learn a little something? Okay, that's important. Did I have a good time? That's important. And also, of course, did I make a buck? Now, as long as I make a buck or two, and you guys are happy, I'm happy, then they can hate me all they want. Listen, Trump, I'm sure he has far more haters than I do. And guess what? Do you think he really cares? I don't think so. Anyway, that's all I got. That's all I have. Excuse me. Leave a thumbs up, share, leave a comment afterwards, whatever. Check out the book. Check out the T-shirts. I got to start pushing the T-shirts again. American in Bangkok T-shirt. I don't hate people T-shirt. It's an adventure. What else do I got? Bar Girl Lives Matter. I got all kinds of stuff. So thank you very much. And yeah, grab all three of them. Finish your cocaine storybook. Ooh, yeah, that one's a little tougher. That one's a little tougher for me to write. But all right, I'm working on it. All right, believe me, my head is full. My head is full of things. Which is why right now I'm going to sign off. I'm going to splash a little water on my face, get dressed, because I got my, let me see here if I can, I have my Longji Patung Sarong on right now. And I'm going to take off and go buy some lunch. So thank you very much, everybody. Until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke D, let jerk and my. That's good luck and see you later. Until next time. Arrivederci. Au revoir.